Hi everyone, welcome to episode 23 of the Addydae Designs video blog. I'm Deanne, crochet designer, sometimes knitter, and hand-dyed yarn enthusiast, coming to you from Canberra, Australia. So how are you? Have you been alright? I hope you've been well. If you're new and this is your first visit to my channel, this is where I share what I'm making, what I'm designing, and pretty much anything yarn related that I think you might like to hear about. So welcome. Returning viewers, thanks for coming back and hanging out with me. And yeah, I hope you like what I've got to show you today. So I will start, and we'll get straight into things, with FOs. Now I only have one, but I'm very happy that this is now an FO. You've seen it before. I have finally finished my Kaleidoscope Skirt for Imogen / Piper. Yeah, if you've watched before, you'll know of my woes of rapidly growing children. This skirt I began earlier in the year with the intention of having it finished for winter, and sorry, a little fruit fly or something nearly flew up my nose. Oh my goodness, that could have been interesting podcast viewing. What was I saying? 1 minute in and I'm already distracted. That's bad. Yes, I started this with the intention of having it finished for Imogen to wear throughout the winter. That didn't happen. And then by the time I got it close to being finished, she had grown so much that it's much shorter on her than originally intended. However, it still fits. She can still wear it, but given that the weather is now finally warming up, it's not going to be this year, and then by next year, of course, she's going to be way too tall for it. Never mind, I have daughter number 2. I have a backup plan. So Piper gets to score this, so she's pretty happy about it. So that's the skirt all finished. Now this one, I've never been able to show the waistband before. It's just an elastic casing, so you see on the inside I just did the taller stitches because you can't see that, but that's the outside of the waistband. And yeah, you just insert your waistband elastic. I like to get that one that's sort of stiff, like it won't fold over on itself or curl within the casing, because that could be uncomfortable and then it gets all twisted and looks horrible. So I've got that. I haven't got any to show you, sorry, but it's sort of reinforced along it so that it won't bend over on itself. Yeah, waistband elastic. I'm sure you know what I mean. I hope you do anyway. And then the bottom is a little bit different to the pattern. The Kaleidoscope pattern has a little lace section, like a few rows of just, I'll call it eyelet lace, mesh more. Yeah, mesh might be a better description. In any case, I decided not to do it, so I don't know why I'm talking so much about it. Yeah, the contrast colour that came with this yarn was this pink colour. Where is the pink? The pale pink. Can you see that there? And I just didn't think it looked right on this particular item. And so I did a row of just single crochet in the rainbow colour, and I just thought that was enough just to finish off the bottom. Piper and Imogen both liked it like that too, so happy days. Helped me get it finished more quickly. Saved myself about 5 rows, so that was really good. So that's ready to go for Piper for next year, unless we have some insane cold snap, which is entirely possible. Here in Canberra, spring's really unpredictable. I keep looking outside like I'm checking the weather, sorry. It's got to be so bizarre. The spring's really, really unpredictable. It can be really cold depending on where the wind's coming from 1 minute, and then the next day it can be like today where there's just a little bit of a breeze and it's really, really warm. So who knows? So there. So that is my only FO, but I'm very happy to have finished that. And for any of you who are interested, this skirt, the Kaleidoscope Skirt, is the child version of this design. I do have an adult version as well called Radialis, if anyone's interested. And the thing I like about it, as far as fitting women as opposed to fitting children, is that because you start at the side seam and you work your way around the body, all you have to do, all that's critical at the beginning is choosing the length that you want, because you can't really, well, I suppose you could add more of the edging on the bottom, but you can't really alter the length too much once you start. But generally, well, I don't know if you're like me, but if you are, the thing you're most concerned about with a skirt is how it fits around, you know, around the hips and derriere. And the great thing is about this is because you've worked around the body from one side seam all the way around the body to the other, you can seam it up and try it on. And if, for example, it's too tight and you don't like how tight it is around your hips and bottom, you can undo the seam and you can add more rows. Or if it's too loose and you'd like it a bit more fitted, the reverse, undo the seam and rip out a few rows. It will be really, really easy to do that. And for me, that's the fit that I find more critical around here, more than I generally know what length skirt looks good and what I would like. So yeah, that I think is a really good feature of this design when you are making something that is, you know, for an adult, it's a large garment. You really want it to fit nicely, and I think that's good to have that option once you side seam. I know you've got to undo the seam, but that's no biggie really, because when you're knitting from the top down, you've got a fair amount there, and if you've worked all the way past your backside lengthwise and then you find out that it doesn't fit very well, there's not much you can do about it at that point. Anyway, I thought I'd mention it, so if anyone is interested in making a skirt for themselves, yeah, check out Radialis. Hope you like it. Okay, so one FO, but I do have quite a few WIPs to show you. Now, the first one is knitted. I'm a little bit excited about this because I was actually thinking the next time I revisited this, I'd have to just frog it and start over. This is my Aunt Ross sweater. I'll insert a picture of it here. I have shown you it before. It's beautiful. And it's written for, I think it's bulky weight yarn. Anyway, yarn that I didn't have in my stash. So I probably told you last time, I tweaked the numbers because I had some worsted weight yarn in my stash that I wanted to use. So I did the math, thought I worked it out. Anyway, I was in a bit of a panic after a while that it was going to be too loose when I got to just below the bust length. So what I did was I changed down a needle size, and then I was worried it was going to be too small. But we had a bit of a Netflix sort of binge session last weekend, and I just sat and I thought, you know what, I feel like doing some knitting just for something different. And I finished the rest of the body, which was very exciting. And of course, once I cast it off, I tried it on with my eyes closed. I quite literally like pulled it over my head with my eyes shut and was like, it fits perfectly. I'm so excited. I'll stop waffling about it now and actually show you. How about that? But here it is here. Oh, it's getting a little overexposed. The lighter sections aren't anywhere near as leery as they're showing up on camera. It's a lot more understated. Hang on, if I hold it right back here, that's a bit more accurate, but it is looking very busy on camera, unfortunately. But it's a beautiful yarn from 3 Irish Girls. There you go, that's probably quite accurate actually. It's just beautiful, and you may or may not be able to see the pattern. Can you see that little chevron design down the center? It is a bit, look, this yarn isn't ideal for this design because it's sort of too busy to feature that little chevron down the front. But in any case, like I said, it was from stash. I wanted to use it. So yeah, tweak the numbers. And with a great sigh of relief, it fits. So I've just got the sleeves to go. And you might not be able to tell, but there's buttonholes here in this section of the collar. So you can button it up and wear the neckline closed, or you can leave it, butchering this, showing you, aren't I? But leave it open. So that I'm thinking some lovely wooden buttons or something. I haven't got buttons picked out for it yet, but yeah, pretty excited about that. I've knitted myself a lot of, well, quite a few cardies and sweaters actually, but it's been a long time since I've knit anything besides a cardigan. So the fit I was kind of concerned about, because I think the last time I knitted myself a jumper was probably before I was married, forever ago. And gosh, this is going to sound bad, but back then jumpers were nice and big and floppy, and that was the style. So this one is a fitted design. So yeah, I haven't done a jumper. We call them jumpers here in Australia, sweaters in the States. Yeah, I haven't knit a jumper like with a closed, you know, fully enclosed body for so long. So what, I just wasn't sure it was going to fit, but it does. So happy days. I'm so excited. I'm sorry to be waffling about it so much, but yeah, I was really, really excited that all that effort wasn't for nothing and I didn't have to rip it back. So there you go. Hopefully I'll have some sleeves added to that very, very shortly. The other thing I did when I got sick of knitting on my Netflix binge day, we've had a few long weekends here in Australia, so it's been a nice chill out time, and it is school holidays too, so yeah. I don't know if have I ever mentioned that I homeschool the girls? I don't know if I have. Anyway, I do. The reason I'm saying that is because school holidays mean I'm on holidays too. When they're in school, I have to do school. So it's like, yay, school holidays, so I get a little bit more free time, which is nice. So I was able to get quite a bit done on these as well. And I'm saying these because you know there are two of them. So look at this. Can you see where I was last time? I left my little marker in there. So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. I've added 6 more coloured stripes to this one. It's so pretty. And how many did I added? How many did I get on this one? Sorry, it's all wrapped up. I can't even find my stitch marker on this one. Oh no, this one's telling me I've only done 1 extra one. I thought I did the same on both. Okay, so obviously not. There you go. So 1 extra row. I don't know why I'm bothering to show you. I thought I had done, okay, obviously forgot which one I was working on and that I only did it on the one. But what I did as well was, because I'm trying to make this primarily from DK Stash that I've just had forever, I weighed everything again because I'm pretty pedantic with that sounds so lame, does that? But I am pretty pedantic with keeping my stash recorded on Ravelry, which is great because I knew exactly how much yarn I had to start with. I weighed it again and I worked out exactly how much each stripe uses of each colour, because they're slightly different. Well, they're different bases from different places, so they use a little bit different amounts for each stripe, and I did the math and calculated it out, and I think it's going to make enough for 2 single bed sized blankets without me needing to buy any more yarn. I may need to buy some of the dark purple contrast colour, or like the colour that goes through the whole blanket. I don't know, I didn't bother checking how much I've used on that because that's no biggie. I can always order a couple of balls of that, but I really didn't want to order an odd ball of a particular colour just for the sake of, you know, 1 or 2 stripes. That would be a real bummer. So I'm hoping that my maths is right and that works out. So yeah, actually got some more done on the blankets, so that was very good. The other WIP I have to show you, actually I have 2 more. One is my Brioche shorty mitts. Did I have this? I don't think I'd only started the first one, hadn't I? Last episode. I've almost finished the second one. So as I said before, I am fixing all the errors, correcting all the errors. That sounds terrible. There were a few. apologies again, fixing that design up. So given that I've just about finished making this, following it again myself to double check, I should have that revision out to anyone that has purchased it. But yeah, happy with those. They're cute little short ones, because the original pair I made were the gauntlet length, like the ones pictured on the pattern, but this is the shorter style, and I quite like that. So yeah, there you go. So pretty happy about that. That will be really, I mean, I could have that finished this evening if I just sat down for an hour or so. There's not much in that one, and that's just using up some leftovers I hadn't stashed too. These I don't think would use, no, I haven't weighed the yarn yet, so it'd be definitely under 100 grams in total. But anyway, it'll be on my project page. Yeah, if you didn't know anything you see here and want to know more details about, I'll have links below to patterns I've talked about and things like that, and any new yarns that I've shown you. But also my project page is always up to date with what I'm making, so if you want to have a look at anything in detail, check my project page out. It's under Mrs. Ramjet, that's my Ravelry handle, and you'll find all the details there. And if you want to get in touch with me on Ravelry, that's how you find me there as well. So yeah, whip number 3, and I have another whip. Okay, I'll show you this first and then I'll tell you what I was going to tell you. This one I mentioned last time, but I hadn't started it yet. This is the beginning of my Done in Love pullover by Katie and the Squid. This pattern is released in 3 stages. I think today, Clue, I'm going to call it a Clue, it's not a Clue, part 3 comes out today. Yeah, it was sent out as 3 separate parts. I'm behind, I haven't quite finished part 1. I think I've got about 2 rows to go, and then once you've divided for the sleeve, I think the next part begins. But yes, I'm a little bit behind. As I said, part 3 comes out later today. But yeah, I wanted to use stash for this. This is using fingering weight yarn. Again, another sweater, can you believe it? And I decided, because I didn't have enough of one colour, yeah, I decided to block, like colour block. Sorry, my camera's flashing at me and I don't know why. Okay, it's still recording. We'll just leave it. Yeah, so I decided to colour block it, and then when I got close to changing colours, I thought, you know what, I'm going to stripe a few narrow stripes of the new colour before bringing it in as solid. So yeah, these colours, I'm pretty happy with it. These colours are from Tanis Fibre Arts. The top of it is just the natural, and then the second colour I'm introducing here is sand. I'm pretty sure it's sand, yeah. Sand, which is just lovely. It has just a few little bits of dark and a bit of light. It's beautiful. And then the third colour I'm going to introduce is this one. And this is Dark Stone, which I got in one of Tanis's Etsy updates. Tanis sells her main range from her website, but every now and again she might have some one-of-a-kinds or yeah, just special one-off colours. Well, that is one of a kind, I'm repeating myself. In an Etsy update is what I'm trying to spit out. So Stone is one of their regular colourways, so this one is Dark Stone, which was a special release, but it's so pretty. It's an unusual grey, it's kind of got a purple hue, but I think it'll go nicely with the sand. So they're the 3 colours I'm going to use. I'm not sure how far I'm going to do each colour yet. I'm just going to see how I go. yeah, but happy with how that's turned out. If you're thinking of making this sweater yourself, I highly recommend it. The instructions are very detailed. Katie, I'm sure her name is Katie as well, because KT and the squid is just the two letters K and T. But I think the designer's name is Katie. Let me just check before I embarrass myself. That's bad, isn't it? KT, da 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 da. We need that elevator music again while I'm looking it up. I bet you it's not going to have... Oh yeah, it is. Katie Peterson. There we go. So I was right. The instructions, I'll go back to that. The instructions are incredibly detailed. There are photo tutorials for things like, I don't know if... Here we go. I'll hold it up. If you can see just below that marker, see how there's short rows there to create the shaping in the front neck? Katie has a photo tutorial for working that part after making the neckband. I've only done section 1, so I don't know, I haven't looked in great detail at the next 2 stages, but I can't imagine that she is any less detailed in the next sections either, so highly recommend the pattern. This is fingering weight, and it used to get gauge, I had to go to a 3.5mm hook. Now what did it call for? I can't even remember. 3.25. So Katie uses an even smaller hook. I got gauged with a 3.5. So, I mean, most of the time I use fingering weight and a 4.5mm hook. That said, that's for shawls, and this is a garment. It is, I'm not going to say it's stiff, it's a firm fabric, but my swatch ended up quite soft. So it'll be interesting to see how it changes once it's given a bath and whatever, but I'm really happy with that. I'm sensing the irony here of everything I've been making, given that the weather is warming up rather quickly now. I'm making bed blankets and sweaters and gloves. Anyway, who says we have to crochet what the season dictates? I mean, I'm happy to crank up the air conditioning in summer and make a blanket. That's what I feel like doing. It is a bit funny, especially making the sweaters. It kind of... I amuse myself. Anyway, never mind. I just get envious, actually, this time of year. Envious is a bad word, but you know, the Northern Hemisphere is heading into its winter, and so everyone's pulling out all their beautiful cardies and really heavy, thick, gorgeous things. And it's like, I want to make all of those. They all look so good. I don't really want to drag out the linen right now. But anyway, it's always fun. And, you know, if it's not laying on you like a blanket, the blankets might get a little bit extreme to work on in the heat. But anyway, we do it when we feel like it, don't we? So they're all my whips. So I've got a lot of things on the go. I'm thoroughly enjoying all of them. What else did I want to show you after whips? I actually have notes to have a look at today because I get a little bit flustered and can't remember what I'm talking to you about. So that's right, that's what I wanted to mention before I forget. Last episode I was showing you my, and I've dropped some, my Adagio Mills, for want of a better word, leftovers. And a few of you mentioned that you'd be interested in giving it a try. So I went through all the comments, and Chrissy Crafts, if you would like to get in touch with me, message me on Ravelry if you like, Mrs. Ramjet, as I said before. Let me know your address, sweetie, and I will send these off to you. They are so soft. So I'm looking, I think you're based in the UK. Chrissy Crafts, let me know if you're in the UK, because I have heard from a few podcasters who've been using alpaca of late that are based in the UK. I'll get this straight in a minute. UK-based podcasters using alpaca have mentioned how itchy it is. Not with this stuff. So, you've got to get the good stuff. I don't know. Anyway, so Chrissy, I'm going to assume that's your name. That's bad. Chrissy Krause, get in touch with me. I hope you enjoy that. I'm going to pop it in the mail at the same time as I send out the Addydae Accessories Crochet Along prizes. So the finished object thread, I haven't officially closed it, but I said it would be closed on the 2nd of October. So maybe if you're like super quick, I don't know, maybe by the time I edit this I've closed it. Anyway, the crochet along has officially ended. There are so many entries. Oh, I couldn't believe how many people made stuff. Thank you. So exciting. So what I will do, I will announce the winners at the end of the podcast. I was going to announce them with a picture of what they're going to get, but I think I might leave it as a surprise so you don't know what you're getting. Because I'm not going to say this is first prize and this is second or anything like that. Anyway, I will announce the winners at the end of this episode, and yeah, get in touch with me with your address. I'll message you on Ravelry too. You'll find out shortly. One way or another. I might message you on Ravelry a little bit after the episode comes out, so it's a bit of a surprise at the end for the winners. And yeah, so I'll get all those sent off together, and also notify Naomi, who was sending out the edition of Yarn magazine with her design on the cover, and she'll send that direct to that winner as well. So thank you so much for joining in the fun there. There are some beautiful projects. I love them all. Deciding on winners, so hard. Another thing I better mention is about my most recent design release that I showed you last time. At the time, was called the Sea Dragon Crochet. Now, if you had purchased this pattern, you will know this already. I have changed the name to Hooked Dragon. The reason is, I know that sounds like a very strange thing to do after releasing a pattern. The reason I chose to change the name is that when I first uploaded it to Ravelry, I got an automated message basically saying that Ravelry didn't like the word crochet in the title, because it was descriptive as opposed to just the name of the design. But it still let me publish the pattern. So I thought, that's all right, don't worry about it, It still let me do it, so it can't be that bad. But then the more I thought about it, I sell patterns from other places as well, and I thought the other shop platforms might not be as forgiving as Ravelry, and it might prevent me from publishing it on those other websites. So I've decided to change the name. So there you go, that was a long roundabout way of explaining things to you, but this is now referred to as the Hooked Dragon. Yeah, so available on Ravelry, and I'll be adding it to my other platforms shortly. I hope you're enjoying it. I know Wooltopia, who dyed this gradient for the release, I think she may still have some kits available, I don't know, but if you're interested in this particular colourway, she did dye up some kits, so head to, I think it's wooltopia.com. I'll double check the address for the website and put it down below for you if you're like this gradient colour. But yeah, any gradient set would do, and as you know, I used Adagio Mills, the undyed alpaca, in a sort of gradient set to do the larger version. So, you can pretty much use whatever you like. You can make it like, I think stained glass windows when I think of doing one with all different colours. So it's now known as the Hooked Dragon. So sorry if that's confused anyone. I'll just put it down to a blonde moment or something like that, shall I? Anyway, moving on. I have made a few acquisitions since last time, and not of the yarn kind. Although I do have a bit of yarn to show you because I'm making up another hooked dragon for Angela of One Tree Hill Alpacas. Actually, I'll show you that first because when I met up with Angela at Canberra Handmade, she gave me the yarn and it's so pretty. So seeing that I just talked about the hooked dragon, this is these are the colours that Angela chose. So that will be the main colour. So each of the wedges will be in this gorgeous purple, which is called, and I've hidden it away inside because I wound it ready to go. Yeah, where's she hidden the name? This one doesn't have a name. Okay, so this purple and the contrast colour that's going to do the spines and the top edge is this gorgeous, oh there you go, that's showing more of the colour. Look at the speckles in that. Isn't that nice? It'll go so well with the purple. So pretty. And let's see if this one's got a name. This one's called Fiddlesticks. There we go. How cute's that? So these are wound ready to go, and I'll have that made shortly, I hope. So looking forward to using that. You know I love using the 100% alpaca. So acquisitions. Now I had been on a bit of a book bender lately. I'll show you what I've gotten. One's a knitting book, but it's knitting for children. This is by a book by Claire Mongomerie, and she wrote a book I showed you quite some time ago called Crochet for Children. So this is the knitting version, obviously. I got it for the girls because I thought, you know what, it'd be great if they could learn both crafts as well, whether they choose to continue with both or whether they enjoy both, I don't know, but I know I can teach them, but you know, I don't know how to make a knitted ladybug. So I thought that the girls would enjoy that. So I grabbed that when I was on Book Depository is where I got this one from. They're awesome. They do free worldwide shipping, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, free worldwide shipping. How great's that? And their books are generally discounted on what you would normally pay in a bookstore. So there you go. And the other book I got is this one. Now, I first saw this on the Crochet Luna podcast. Claudia was singing its praises, and I was thinking about getting it. And I've gotten, this is by Rohn Strong, Crocheted Sock Techniques. What does it say? From Basic to Beyond. There we go. I have one of his books. I think it's called, no, it's not called Step Into Crochet. Let me just consult my iPad. I really should write this stuff down. I have written notes and I still end up having to check. What was it called? It's a much smaller book and I only got a digital copy anyway. Oh, where is it now? Sorry. Elevator music, can we insert here? I can't find it. Oh, there we go. So I bought his other one. I don't know if it's gonna, hang on, I'll take it off charge. Can you see that? That's the other one of his that I'd purchased. New Methods for Crochet Socks by Rohn Strong. And it's a good book. However, this one blows that one out of the water. Wow. Remember, you might not, but last episode I showed you a book that I borrowed from the library called Sock Architecture, and it was knitted socks. But I was interested in the different construction techniques for different heels. That's what this one does, but for crochet. There are some awesome things in here. Hang on, let me see. It goes into detail about, oh, hang on. La 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 la. Oh dear. Okay, so here it talks about different heel and toe. I'm sorry, I don't know if that's in focus or not. But it talks about different heel and toe construction. Like you can see, oh, can you see? Anyway, you might need to take my word for it. But on this page, those three pictures have three different shaped crocheted heels. And then there's different toe types, like what's he got here? He's got wedge toe, a 6-point toe, a 4-point toe, and a square toe. There are so many toes. And then goes into pattern toes. And then with the heels, he's got cuff down round heel, toe up round heel, cuff down strong heel, toe up strong heel, common heel, cuff down Dutch heel, toe up Dutch heel. All the sock construction techniques you need to know for crochet. So I was so happy when I got this, because I didn't really know what to expect. I thought, oh, you know, I was hoping it'd be a bit different to the digital version of the other book that I got. Love it. It was awesome. Now this cost me 33 Aussie dollars. I think it said there's a price tag on it here, $22.99 US. Yeah, I got it on Book Depository. Actually, 35 might have been the full price, and I don't think I paid full price, so I can't remember. But anyway, worth checking out if you want to try a few different styles of crochet sock. Again, I still haven't finished my first pair of crochet socks. But I figure if I ever get around to finishing a pair, it'd be nice to have all these options to tweak it, because I know a lot of knitters talk about what heel type, a lot of that fits their foot better, whether that's a heel flap and gusset or an afterthought heel or fish lips kiss heel, things like that. So, you know, the shape of the heel can make a big difference to how it fits on your foot. So nice to have all these options to tweak my own when I finally do them. So bad. And then the other thing I got was this. It was in stock at Skein Sisters, and I couldn't resist. It's honestly, Stephen West is not everyone's cup of tea, and I totally get that. And if you only crochet and that's why you're watching here, I mean, I knit too. I enjoy both actually. I just prefer to crochet. But I just wanted to have a look at this. The photography is amazing. His construction techniques are just out of this world. Like the shapes that he thinks of putting together and how they fit into a garment are just amazing. So yeah, I got that. But yeah, I get he's a bit out there. I know that. You know, it's not everyone's thing, but I love it anyway. So I've been having fun with my little craft library. Actually, I stacked up all my crochet books because I'm planning on revamping our office a little bit and putting things in shelves and having my yarn sort of on display but not on display, and things like that. So I've been thinking about all of that, and I stacked up all my crafting books. I have a few of them, but it's a nice thing to have. I mean, digital is great. Love having digital copies of patterns to flick through on my iPad, and you know, you can take them with you wherever you go and blah blah blah. But there's something about flicking through a book, isn't there? So yeah. Anyway, enjoying that. Now the other thing I wanted to show you is very exciting. I decided to get myself a furls crochet hook. Now I don't know if any of you've seen these before. I've been following furls for years. For some reason, I can't even remember where I heard about them years ago. But originally they just did hand-turned wooden hooks, and they were beautiful. Like you can get them in all different timbers and stuff like that. And then this is called the Odyssey Hook. This is their new range, which is an acrylic handle, and I think it's stainless steel. This part, I don't know. Does it even say? Check it came in this box. Look at this. it's not going to focus on it. Like, it looks like a mascara box to me. But anyway, it comes in this fancy box. It is awesome. These are not cheap. I'll be well and truly upfront with you there. I think they retail for, I think it's $33 US for this version. They have like a burgundy handled with a gold plated hook. Yes, gold plated hook, for $60 US, and they've just opened up pre-orders for a special range. I don't know if it's going to be permanent or not, but for pink handles and gold plated hook and purple handles with a silver plated hook. So pretty special stuff. They are quite heavy. Well, not quite, see, that sounds bad. The weight, where they're weighted, is really interesting. And at first it took me a little while to get used to, but I really, really enjoy using this. They are super duper slick. I don't know if it's, you can't tell by looking at the camera, but the hook part is very slick. If you're a knitter, they remind me of, is it the Addydae Turbos, which are very slick, nickel plated knitting needle. That's what they remind me of. So this is like the Addydae Turbo of crochet hooks. I don't know, but I really, really like it. Now that said, I met up with my friend Christine. She tests patterns for me and also happens to live here in Canberra, and we meet up every now and again, and I took it to show her and she didn't like it. So yeah, that's why I bought one. Because I was worried, well, you know, I don't like every single hook. Remember, I did that review of all the ergonomic handled hooks I could get my hands on from Wool Warehouse, and you know, didn't like all of them. So there's no guarantee. But if you crochet a lot, like I do, it could be worth trying for you, maybe. Anyway, I really like it. I'm very happy that I got it. It did take me a little while to get used to it though, because it does feel very different to like my clovers and stuff like that, but it's meant to. Apparently, if you watch the blurb on the Furls website, they talk about how it's weighted in a particular way to transfer the energy, you know, into your crochet instead of having to put strain on your arm. Like, they've really thought what they're doing. I don't know the science of it, but I like how it feels and I like using it, and I like the shape of the head of the hook. It's very similar in shape. Let's see if I've got one here. Oh, it's not the same size, so I don't know how well you're going to be able to tell. But it is similar in shape to my favourite hook, which is the clover hook. Hang on. I'm sorry, I don't have the same size just on hand. I should have thought about this. But yeah, very similar in shape in the actual hook part. So in that way, it felt familiar, but yeah. So there you go, my very first Furls crochet. And then just a few days before I received this one, I got a message from Furls saying that I've won a size 4. I don't actually remember entering in a competition, although that sounds so stupid, doesn't it? I think what it was I signed up to a mailing list, and you know how sometimes you sign on a mailing list for something and they say, you know, if you go on our mailing list, you could be in the running for a blah blah blah, and I never win anything. So when I first got the message, I actually thought it was spam. You know how you get those dodgy emails, so, oh, please send us your details, and so I thought it was a joke, and I messaged them back and I said, is this for real? I don't remember entering a competition. And it was. With, I think, is it New Haven Fibre Arts? That was, I think that's, anyway. I won a size 4mm, which is really cool because this is a 4.5. So I will soon have 2. So how about that? On that note, I should probably let you go. I don't think I have anything else to tell you apart from my exciting news about winning a hook. Let's have a look. No, I've talked about the crochet along being over. Prizes are going to be posted out shortly. Winners will be announced at the end of the podcast. I think that's it. I've talked about everything I needed to talk about today. Happy days. And I haven't lost my train of thought too often this time. Anyway, I don't know if you noticed though, in one way I hope you didn't notice because that means it hasn't been annoying you in the past, but I have a new microphone that I've attached to my camera. So now when I do this and show you something close up and take it away, you don't get that really, really annoying noise from my zoom lens that you used to. It used to drive me crazy. I hope it didn't drive you too crazy. But yay, I've got myself a little microphone to stop that from happening. So yeah, I was pretty excited about that. It seems to work well. I'll know in editing, so hopefully it works well. I'll just have to cut this bit off. Anyway, see, I'm waffling again. Clear sign, it's time to go. I hope you're all well. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen. Yeah, send me a message below if you have any questions for me or just want to say hi. Love hearing from you. And again, if you want to know any further details on anything I've shown you today, they will be in my projects page, or if it's stash related, in my Ravelry stash. So go check it out, Mrs. Ramjet I am over there. And yeah, I hope to see you all again shortly. Take care everyone, bye.